Shalom, shalom, Israel. It's your brother Malachi coming back with a lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So, this lesson, man, is going to go into pretty much your inheritance. What is it to have a heritage, right? What does it actually mean? Because, hey, us as Black people, we don't have a heritage as Black people. What is our heritage? What's been passed down to you being a Black person in America? Twerking, damn gang banging, right? Uh Football, the NFL, right? The NBA. These are the things that's been passed down to you being a so-called Black person in America, an African American, right? You have no real heritage, no real inheritance, you know? And so you have to come back to your true nationality, right? And so you can step into that blessing because there's nothing glorious about being a nigga. There's nothing glorious about being African American, right? So let's get into it. I'm gonna get started right here. Let me see. I'm gonna get started right here. Right. So I want to get this. This is the definition of a heritage, right? It says uh so heritage. It says that which is allotted, possession, property, portion, share, peculiar right, inheritance. Right? So that's what it means to have a heritage. It's your share. It's your portion. It's your allotted. It's your lot, right? And so, a heritage is something that's passed down, and it's passed down to you from the Most High, right? The heritage of the children of God. It's their lot. It's their share in life, right? So if you got a son, if you got daughter, or you got children, right? You're gonna leave your children an inheritance, Lord willing, right? And you're gonna pass them down something, and hopefully they can pass it down to their children and keep passing it down, right? So yeah, let's get the Google definition, right? The Google definition of a heritage. And it reads, Salakia. Yeah, so it reads, um, property that is or may be inherited, an inheritance, a special or individual possession, an allotted portion. So we're going to go into the inheritance of the Israelites. Well, what did God give the Israelites? What is their inheritance? Right? What is the difference between them and everyone else? Right? And you can look at similar, it says birthright. Understand? Birthright. You see? So let's go ahead and get started in the book of Sirach, chapter 11 and chapter 17, verse 11. Right? So it says, Ecclesiasticus 17 and 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance. Yeah, man, the Lord gave you knowledge and the law of life for inheritance. What is the law of life? The laws of Moses, going back to the law, statutes, and commandments. This is what the Lord gave you for inheritance to pass down from your children to their children, right? all the way down forever. Right? This is your heritage, the laws of God. You understand? This is what sets you apart. This is what makes you differ from everybody else. The laws of life. You understand? So, yeah, that's the difference, right, between you and everyone else. The Lord didn't give everyone else law, statutes, and commandments. He didn't give them such perfect laws to govern their society, right? He gave you the laws for an heritage, right? I want to get a precept on that. This is going to be Deuteronomy 4 and 5, right? So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and we'll start at, yeah, 5. Salakia, kind of jumping all over the place. So it says, behold, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me. Salakia. See what's going on. Bear with me, bear with me. Salakia. So yes, Deuteronomy 4 and 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land, whether ye go to possess it. It says, verse number 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who hath God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? So that's what it is, right? You got the law, statutes, and commandments as a heritage, where you don't got dang on NFL as a heritage, right? You don't got BET as a heritage. That's not your heritage, right? It's this death culture of death music. That's not your heritage, right? These celebrities, right? And these things that you see on TV, this is not all that you have to look forward to, right? There's a lot more to look forward to. You understand? So, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments, that's your heritage, right? What could be so great? Nothing can compare to that, right? That's the Lord bestowing his love upon you, you know? So we're gonna go back to it, right? So Ecclesiasticus 17:11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So don't forsake your heritage, right? You know how the dang on Moabites, right? The Chinese, they come over here and then they start living like an American. They've forsaken the heritage of their fathers, right? They've forsaken the things that they do in their land to come and live freely in America, right? Same with the dang on Arabs, right? Their women supposed to be in order. They come over here and now they're wearing pants. Now they're wearing all kind of different things, forsaking the customs of their fathers, right? Hey, and the Lord gave you a heritage. Hey, and you've been forsaking your heritage, right? You've been putting it off, casting it to the side. as if it's nothing, right? Taking upon twerking as a heritage, right? Now, gang banging is a heritage now for brothers. Right? That's what they got to look forward to. That's what their fathers passed down, right? Hey, you was a so-called crip. All right, now your son's a dang on crip, right? Now he's going around killing his people for no dang on reason. Right? So these are the things that we pass down as a heritage. These are not supposed to be within our nation, right? The Lord gave you a heritage. You should seek it and find it, right? Let me get this. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse number 4. I don't know what's going on. Salakia. Salakia. Satan. So Jeremiah 17 and 4, and it reads, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Hey, the Lord said you would discontinue from your heritage. The Lord said you would leave off from your heritage, right? It says, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies, Satan, Salakia. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So, yeah, hey, the Lord caused you to discontinue from your heritage. That means the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, right, hey, man, we got all kind of death in our culture, right? We got all kind of madness for an heritage. But the Lord said, you were going to discontinue from your heritage, right? So, hey, man, you got to think about that thing. This is what they stripped away from you in slavery. This is what they stripped away from you on the plantation. Your heritage, man. Now you don't know anything about any of God's commandments. They're not going to teach you that in Christianity. Christianity is not going to give you your heritage back. They're not going to tell you who you are. They're not going to tell you you're an Israelite. They're not going to tell you you're God's chosen people. They're not going to tell you you're really rich kids. You're really rich kids with a big inheritance. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you your inheritance is for everybody. Right? Your inheritance is for all people. Right? But everyone has a specific heritage. Right? Do the kids next door get your inheritance that you're going to pass down to your kids? Right? You're going to give that to the kids next door and to all the kids in the neighborhood? No, man. Your inheritance is for you. Right? You're heir to the throne. Right? But they want to say the Lord made everybody heirs now. Right? But everybody's not God's children. Right? Let's get that. This is Romans 9 and 3. So if everybody's not God's children, then how can everyone possess the inheritance that the Heavenly Father has for his children? You see that? So you gotta think about these things, man. Right? Salakia. Let me share it. So, everyone is not God's children, right? So Everyone's not going to get the inheritance of um, the children of God, right? It makes sense. So this is I don't know why this thing keep jumping around like that. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to start at verse number 7. It says, this is Romans 9 and 7. It says, Salakia, let me share it. Right. This is Romans 9 and verse number 7. It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So the promise is going to Isaac and his children, right? Salakia. Salakia. Bear with me. One moment, Israel. Okay, Salakia, Israel. Let me get back to it. So let me get back to it, right? So we was at Romans 9 and 7, right? Because God's children have an inheritance, right? They have a portion that's been allotted to them, right? It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. You understand that? So, not everyone's a child of God, and not everyone's going to receive the inheritance that God has for his children, right? You're not going to give your children's inheritance to the kids down the street, right? But how all of a sudden everybody become God's children? This is New Testament. You understand? So, that's a cut to Christianity. That's a cut to saying everybody can be saved, right? Everybody now has received the heritage of the Israelites, right? That's not true. They've tried to take our heritage, but the Lord has their number, and the Lord has them numbered. And the Lord's promises are from old, right, and forever. It's never going to change. So it says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. So you understand that? So the promise was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand? And that and their seed and their descendants. And if you don't come from that seed line, then the promises are not for you. You understand? So yeah, so you're a rich kid with a rich inheritance, right? So lucky if I didn't share that. So you're a rich kid with a rich inheritance, and not everyone is going to receive your inheritance. You understand? Let me get this. Lamentations 5, right? Because show you something that happened to your heritage, right? And see, no boy, they're not going to teach you this in the Christian church. They're not going to teach you this at Sunday service. You understand? They're not going to tell you anything about a heritage, any of that, right? They just want you to, love white Jesus, right? This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Yeah, our inheritance is turned to strangers. The land that the Lord gave you, right? The customs that the Lord gave you. Now you got strangers that are living like you. They've actually stolen your identity and became you. Now they're keeping Passover. Now they're keeping Feast of Tabernacles, right? Well, not what's supposed to be your heritage, right? They've stolen your inheritance. Your inheritance has been turned to strangers, okay? And you have to fight to get that thing back. The promises is still for you. But are you going to put the work in to fight for the Lord? Are you going to put the work in to receive your birthright? Or are you just going to be a nigga in America, a dang on African American, right? And gang banging, that's your heritage now, right? You're going to pass that down to your son? You're going to pass that down to your daughter? What are you going to pass down to your kids? Gang banging? Twerking? Right? This thing is serious. It's not just you it affects, it's the whole nation. So you gotta take into account, man, right? What kind of heritage do you have for your children? What kind of heritage did your father give you? Right? And the Heavenly Father gave you the best heritage of all, right? His law, statutes, and commandments to govern your nation and your society, or to put you on high, right? And to put you above all the other nations on the earth. Yeah. So it reads, verse 2, Lamentations 5 and 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens, you know? So dig that, man, right? Your inheritance is turned to strangers, right? Let me get this. Let me get this. Let me get this. Hey, the Lord gave you a lot, right? For your inheritance. He gave you the world and everything in it, right? The Lord gave you the world and everything in it. It's like you jumping around again. Let me get it. This is Leviticus 25 and verse 46. It says, and ye shall take them as an inheritance, Salakia. Watch this. I'm going to go to verse 45, right? Verse number 45. Moreover, the children of the strangers that sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession. So the children of the strangers, these other nations, are your possession, right? Check this out. Verse 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you. Yeah. So you're supposed to pass down these other nations to your children as slaves for their inheritance. The Lord gave you the earth and everything in it for your inheritance, right? These nations, you're going to inherit them, possess them, right? Hey, and they're going to be your property. Right? That's the inheritance of God. He didn't give everybody that inheritance. That's a special thing. It's only for the Israelites, right? But since you turned away from the Lord, you were given over to the strangers. Now you're their inheritance as it sits this day, right? You have to work, and pay bills, right? To your oppressors, right? They've inherited you, their children. You're still working for the Fortune 500 companies, right? You're still working to build up their kingdom every day, right? So you're supposed to inherit the nations, but they've inherited you because you fell away from the Lord. You don't want to keep the commandments. You don't even want the heritage that the Lord has for you, right? You'd rather be a slave working for your oppressors than to have them working for you. That's how mentally destroyed you are. You're comfortable in your captivity. Everything's all right, you know? But the saints and the elect are patiently waiting for these promises to be fulfilled, for these prophecies to be fulfilled, and for everything to come in fruition. And we know this is true, right? We know that the Israelites will inherit and possess these nations. You understand? And if you don't want a part of that, hey man, that means you've been destroyed by your oppressors. You just a good slave. Stockholm syndrome, right? It says, verse 46, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. I mean, your slaves forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one another with rigor. Yeah. You can't inherit the children of Israel as a slave, but you can take these other nations as a possession, as an inheritance. You understand? So that's another thing that the Lord gave to you for an heritage, right? Hey, man, you need to be trying to get back to that thing, right? By turning back to your God. Quit following after strange gods, the gods of these nations, right? So the Lord gave you, amen, a really big inheritance, right? The Israelites are really rich kids, real rich kids, billionaires, man. Wait, trillionaires, right? The earth and all of the minerals, all of the gold, right? And everything in it. You understand? But most importantly, the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Which is above all of those things. Because if you don't get to those law, statutes, and commandments, guess what? You'll never get any of these things that the Lord promised to you. So that's what that is, right? Let me get this. This is Psalms 119 and 111. It says, Salakia, Satan messing with the lie. Excuse me. 119 and 111. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. Thy testimonies, these law, statutes, commandment, this book of the Bible, and all that's written therein is your heritage, right? So are you going to possess your heritage and pass it down to your children? Are you going to pass the heritage of a nigga down to your children? Of a damn slave, man, right? What you going to do? Right? You're going to pass, you can't pass that 9 to 5 you working down to your children. They going to work some 9 to 5, right? But you can't even pass your job down. You understand? You don't have anything to pass down as a heritage to your children, to your seed, you know? Hey, man, and if you think you're gonna pass some money down, whose face is on the money? You know, you're just repeating the cycle, right? You got to come back to the Lord. Pass down these law, statutes, and commandments to your children so they can be blessed in it. You understand? So let me get this. Right? This is Proverbs 14 and 18. The simple inherit folly. Yeah, man. Right? The simple inherit folly. They inherit BT, right? Like I said, they inherit dang on gang banging, right? The simple inherit folly, straight folly, man. Meaningless, don't mean nothing. That's what the simple inherit, man. The Lord said you simple if you don't teach your children the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Right? Give them their heritage back, right? The simple inherit folly, man. Meaningless things. You understand? Things that lead to death and destruction, right? Inheriting dang on you know, twerking, man. Right? That's all you gave your child when you taught her how to twerk, right? That's madness, man. It's madness, right? So, hey man. It says the simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. So you want to be crowned with knowledge and understanding. And knowledge is going back to the laws of statutes and commandments, right? But the prudent are crowned with knowledge, right? And you want to be crowned with knowledge, right? This is a just a physical crown, right? But the real crown is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And that's what you want to put on. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as a crown. But the simple man, they just gonna inherit folly, right? Nigger culture, right? The inheritance of heathens, Christmas trees, Halloween. That's what our people inherit, right? You're gonna inherit Thanksgiving or the slaughter of your people. That's your inheritance, right? So you got to think about these things and repent and come back to the Lord. So let me get this. Watch this. I gotta get it. We're gonna go to Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. Salaki. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So it says, the house of Israel shall possess them. It's the same thing as an inheritance. You're going to inherit them, you're going to possess them, they'll be your possession, right? And those were your oppressors. They were oppressing you, and you were their possession. But then that role is going to flip. You understand? So, yeah, you're going to possess these nations, or that's your inheritance. But our people just want to possess folly and madness, man. Right? Let me get this. Salakia about the music. I know y'all can hear that probably. So this is the book of James 2 and 5. It says, hearken, my beloved, hath not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? Cold blooded, right? Hearken. You need to listen and understand your heritage, understand what the Lord is giving you. It says, hearken, my beloved brethren, hath God not chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith? How are we rich in faith? Because we know we're going to inherit the kingdom. We know that we're rich kids. We're in captivity, subject to payments, subject to all manners of oppression. But we're heirs to the kingdom. We're rich in faith, right? It says, and heirs to the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him. So you got to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? That's what it means to love the Lord. You can't just say, I love you with your mouth and don't show it in deed. So, heirs of the kingdom, right? That's what the children of God are. That's what the sons and daughters of the Most High are. They're heirs to the kingdom of heaven. You understand? Rich kids with a big inheritance. Let me get this. Uh, Con, gotta get this. Get a couple more, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Couple more, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Con. So, Romans chapter 8 and verse number 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, right? And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together, right? So, hey, man, we're heirs because we're the children of God, right? And joint heirs with Yahushua, our King. You understand? Hey, just like he's going to be ruling, the Israelites are going to be ruling as well, right? The Israelites are going to be ruling also. Watch this. Precept, right? So this is Revelations 2 and verse number 25, right? It says, Salaki, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. What do we have? The faith. We have the faith that we're heirs to the kingdom. We have the faith, right? And the knowledge and understanding that the Lord has bestowed upon us, right? So it says, that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Because we know this thing is for us. And we're patiently waiting for the second return of Hamashiach Yahushua, right? It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So he's coming to give power to his chosen, his elect, over the other nations. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Right. So that's what's coming, man. Joint heirship, right? To rule over these nations. And you ask a Christian, do they want to rule over the nations? They're going to say no. They don't even want the promises of Christ. They don't want the inheritance. They don't want the blessings. They just want to be slaves in America, serving a white man forever and ever, right? They don't want the promises of Yahushua, right? It says, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, a big metal pipe. You understand? And it says, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. It's like when you drop a pot, you're going to break these nations to shivers. How many Christians want to do that in righteousness, right? So you got to think, do you even want the inheritance of an Israelite? What are you even calling yourself a Christian for? What are you calling yourself a follower of Christ for? Right? So you got to think about that, right? So, your heritage is these law, statutes, and commandments, right? Your heritage is the Bible, the testimonies of the Lord, man, which are sure. You understand? Salakia, which means forgive me. Right? My computer tripping a little bit. So, man, that's what it is, right? I'm going to get Romans 8:16 again. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness to our spirit that we are the children of God. Salakia. Yeah, that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, right? Because if you're a child of God, then he's got a big inheritance for his children. Heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together, right? We have to suffer for this truth. We have to suffer in this thing. We'll be glorified in that day. And that's the faith of the saints, right? Let me get one more. One more, wrap it up. Yeah. So this is Matthew 25 and 34. I'll start at 33. It says, and he shall set sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left hand, on his left. So yeah, you want to be found on the right hand of the Lord, right? If you found on the left, right, you going off and you're going to be destroyed. It says 34. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye, blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Yeah, man. So, the children of God, they're going to inherit the kingdom that's been prepared from them since the first day of creation, right? Since the beginnings and the foundations of the world. You understand? So, hey, man, that's what it is, right? Keep the law, statutes, and commandments, which is your heritage, so you can inherit the kingdom, as an heritage, right? And man, with that, I'm gonna say Shalom is real. I hope this lesson was edifying, right? I hope we can wake up somebody and get back to these law, statutes, and commandments, right? Step into your heritage that's prepared for you, right? The kingdom awaits you, but you won't get it being a nigga in America, right? You won't get it being an African American, right? You have to repent as an Israelite, come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, right? and inherit the kingdom that's been prepared for you since the world began. Yeah, with that, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. Yeah, with that, Shalom.